Okay, today Rick Steele Customs is going to be going over headers for my 2012 Yukon Denali 6.2. I have a slight exhaust gasket leak on my exhaust manifold here. So I figured, if I'm going to go through the effort of replacing the exhaust manifold gaskets, I may as well stick a set of headers in. I decided to go with shorty headers because shorty headers do not require any kind of modification to the catalytic converter pipe. Therefore, I'm not going to be setting off any check engine lights, and I will not have to spend $500 on a dyno tune. Long tube headers are much, much better, but at the same time, they're more expensive, and you do have to have a dyno tune at an additional $500. And of course, you're going to be illegal because you're going to be essentially messing with the factory emission controlled catalytic converter system. Now, the shorty headers I decided to go with, I picked them up on eBay. I think I paid $371. That's what it was. $371 shipped. And these things, I'm really, really impressed with them. I really like them a lot. These are manufactured by a company called Power Go Motorsports. Okay. The only thing that they don't have is there should be, right there in the center, they should have a merge tip. It's like a cone deal. In fact, I'll show you right here. Anyway, you can see the cone I'm talking about on these. These are hooker headers. Actually, those are Cook's headers. Much more expensive. But anyway, that little cone creates, it helps with the back pressure and the backflow of the exhaust pulses. So anyway, these headers are going to make maybe 10 horsepower. So you're not getting much of a gain. For most people, it's just not worth installing shorty headers. If you do a program along with it, you can gain maybe 20 horsepower. But the thing I really like about these headers, I've seen other YouTube videos for the older SUVs, and they have similar shorty headers available for the older trucks, the 2007 and older. And they are crunching the circumference of the tubes in order to get them to fit in the collector. These are not crunched at all. They're perfectly round. If you can see in there, they're perfectly round all the way through. And that's on both of these headers. But yeah, on the older ones, for some reason, and I don't know if you can use these on the older ones or not, but yeah, these pipes are not squeezed at all. They're perfect diameter all the way through. But I really like the TIG welding all the way around the circumferences on both headers. They have a really thick flange gasket. And this is also a little larger than 3/8. The only thing I'm going to do to them, these are 304 stainless steel, which is really good. But I am going to ship these out to Jet Hot Coatings and get them coated with their ceramic coating, and they're going to ceramic coat it inside and outside to increase the exhaust flow and substantially lower the underhood temperatures and temperature of the headers. I believe they can reduce the underhood temperatures by 250 degrees. Don't quote me on that. You can Google it to make sure, but the reduction is pretty substantial. I did their ceramic coating in my C5 Corvette. I have my spark plug wires, and they're actually touching the header, and they're not melted. And I've been driving it like that for over a year now. I do plan on installing a set of these fiberglass boot protectors, which will ensure that I will never have an issue with burnt plug wires. Now, these headers come with these cheaper gaskets. I don't use these. I don't like these. So I opted for a set of these SCE gaskets. These are a very good quality gasket. They're copper gaskets. And I have another video when I installed my headers on my C5 Corvette. I used these gaskets. There's two different sets of gaskets. As you can see, this sealing ring is almost the entire width of the actual gasket surface. Now, let me do a side-by-side comparison so you can get an idea of why I like these gaskets and no other copper gasket. You can see there's a sealing ring right here, but you can see how much thicker and wider this particular sealing ring is. This one will give you an issue. You can see how thin it is. If you don't have it lined up perfectly, you're going to get an exhaust leak, which is why I took this gasket out of my Corvette. You can see how it's dark brown, black there. And here, and here. That's because if you don't get it, you have this hole right here for the header bolts. This is always going to be larger diameter than the actual bolt. Now here's a header bolt. There's slop in there. Header bolt. That slop, as you can see, is actually greater than the thickness of this sealing ring. Don't use these unless you want to do the job again and pay twice the money. These gaskets cost me about 45 bucks. Same as these. These were 45 bucks. But because the gasket sealing ring is so much larger, I don't have to worry about an exhaust leak. I have not had an exhaust leak yet using these. So anyway, is it worth it to get the shorty headers and then have them sent out to get them ceramic coated inside and out? Well, that's speculative whether or not you have the money to do this. Like I said, I paid $371, and it's going to cost me, another, they're giving me a 10% discount. It's still going to be another $369-ish to have these things ceramic coated.
The 10% discount that I received is not for an endorsement of their company, but because I am a return customer.
So I'm going to have very close to $800 in these headers. But they're going to look so much better. They're going to run cooler, and they're going to perform better. And also the ceramic coating, according to Jet Hot, does increase horsepower. I can only hazard to guess. I'd have to put it on a dyno in order to determine how much horsepower more ceramic coated headers are going to give me. But I'm not going to do that, because if I was going to do that, I would just get the long tubes and then pay the $500 and get it dynoed. So I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to remove this label here before sending it off to get ceramic coated, because they won't be able to get behind it. They'll just cover it with ceramic coating. You don't have to take these off. I mean, if these were, hooker headers or some other name brand that's expensive, then yeah, I would leave it on.
I left it on my Cook's headers.
Like I left it on my Cook's headers. I don't know if you can see that. But anyway, Cook's headers, those, you're looking at a great deal of money. Those are about $1,200. And then I put another $450 getting those ceramic coated. Those are just stainless steel headers. And, very similar to these. These are also 304. The Cooks are 304. So yeah, I'm going to stick these on here because I have a leaky gasket. And if I'm going to go through all the hassle of taking this off to replace a couple of gaskets, may as well make it look pretty, right? And when I got those off, I'm going to change the valve cover gaskets. Anyway, guys, that's the box right there. They just came, and I'm going to do an unboxing for you right now. And we'll see how good a job they did. And a guy to check them. They do not come back in the same box that they have actually gone out in. They stick them in their own Jet Hot coating spot. This box is actually quite a bit bigger, probably about twice the size as the box I actually shipped them out in. They actually have a deal where they use their discount for shipping and they pass it on to the consumer. Of course, they charge you for the shipping both ways. And for me, that cost was $61. The box was actually half this size. And that seems like a little bit on the steep end for shipping. But that was insured for $1,000. And I don't know if I could have got it for a whole lot less than that, but it seems like it was a little extensive. But as usual, their coating job is, top notch. These are beautiful. Yeah, these are really nice. We'll take the other checking. As you can see, that came out really nice. And then, since these come with a lifetime warranty, they cast a number right here. I don't know if that can be made out on the camera. But if you have that serial number and you have an issue with it flaking, discoloring, cracking, as long as you're not breaking in an engine or a camshaft initially, these things have to be run up to temperature about 3 times the full operating temperature of the engine, and then they become fully cured. And then if you wanted to break in a camshaft or an engine, you have to accelerate it up to about 2,000 RPM and hold it there for about 30 minutes. So no damage will occur if you cycle the engine 3 times: fully cold, fully hot, fully cold, fully hot, fully cold, fully hot. Of course, shipping is always going to be more expensive with that idiot in the White House. Everything's more expensive. Unbelievably more expensive. 2 years ago, I had all kinds of money that I could do with whatever I wanted with, but now, not so much. Again, these are coated inside as well as the outside, and that gives an extra thermal barrier to keep underhood temperatures down. And again, this is a beautiful job. And again, we have the warranty number engraved into the pipe flange. Yeah. But is it worth what I paid? I've got in these, I paid, it was, I forget what I paid for these. Like $371, I believe. And then 438 bucks to have them coated. So I got right around $800 in these shorty pipes. Now, is the cost to horsepower ratio worth it? No, I don't think it is. But it might be. I don't know. I mean, this coating is supposed to increase horsepower quite a bit. And I don't want to say something that's not correct, but I've heard estimates of up to 20 horsepower. And the shorty tubes themselves, over stock, are probably only good for around 5 or 6 horsepower, maybe 8. So if I get 28 horsepower, is it worth it? I would say, yeah, that'd be worth it. But it's an expensive outcost of money for that 28 horsepower.
And you're only going to get that full horsepower figure if you have it dynoed and tuned.
But again, coated inside and out. This coating will also protect your spark plug boots from melting away. In fact, the only reason I'm putting these things on my Denali is because I have a factory manifold with a exhaust leak on it. So I figured I got to change the gaskets on the factory exhaust manifolds. I may as well do something cool, put these things on. I'd much rather have gone with long tube headers but then you run into issues with emissions. Of course, you can get in trouble with that from the environmental control agencies and from especially in California. If you live in California, forget it. I wouldn't even consider it. I might not even consider putting these on in California because these will probably also cause you substantial issues. But at least these don't have any kind of emission tubes going into them, neither do the factory exhaust manifold, so you might be able to get away with these even in the People's Republic of California. But you'd have to check on that to make sure that you can run these if you live in that state. And if you can even find somebody that'll ship these to that state. So make sure you do your due diligence and find out for yourself whether or not these are legal in your particular state. But $800, really? That is a lot. For such a small little header. Would I do it again? Yeah, I would do it again. But I got the extra money, so why not? Yeah. And again, why change a factory exhaust manifold gasket when you can do some kind of an improvement? It should make it sound a little better too. But anyway, guys, that's the video today. This is going to be a short one or a long one. It depends on how long these two videos I have to combine wind up taking as far as time is concerned. But anyway, I'd appreciate it if you would leave me a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you want to hear what these things sound like on the Denali after I install them, I'll do a before video with the factory cast irons and an after video with the shorty headers. If you want to know what that sounds like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and again, appreciate a thumbs up. Anyway, Rick Steele Customs, that's all for now.